Mm-hmm. Must have been that Larry Burke was looking in the direction of our next act, waiting in the wings to entertain us. Yep, it's that demon of the airways, the anemic evangelist, Aunt Addie. Come on, Aunt Addie and Don Wilson.
Hello, can you hear me?
Well, hello, Aunt Addie. Well, tell me, what do you know about dairy maids?
Well, I don't know much about dairy maids, but I'd like to get a hold of that Bob Burns for a minute. You know, Don, it's a good thing I got married.
Why is that, Aunt Addie?
Because last week he run out of joke books.
Well, that's not a bad idea, that, is it?
You know, he had an awful accident, too, last week.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Who, Bob Burns?
Yes.
Or asthma?
Asthma did.
Oh, I see. Well, what was that accident?
Well, he got up in the middle of the night to answer the telephone, and he fell over a bunch of college humors.
Oh, well, to get down to the subject, Aunt Addie, tell me, what do you know about dairy maids?
I know plenty about them.
Well, if that's the case, name 5 things that contain milk.
What's that?
I say, if you're so smart and know plenty about them, why, tell me of 5 things that contain milk.
All right. Butter, 3 cows, and 1 goat.
By the way, does your cow give much milk?
Wait a minute. The cheerleader's laughing too loud. What did you say, Mr.
I say, Aunt Addie, does your cow give much milk?
Well, I don't know. She's so ticklish I ain't been able to milk her yet.
Well, how do you like it on the ranch?
What?
How do you like it on the ranch?
What?
I say, how do you like it on the ranch? What's the matter with you? Don't you know what a ranch is?
Oh, sure. It's a tool to fix monkeys with.
Why don't you use it on yourself?
What? Wait a minute. They're pushing me off the air.
I used to think that you were a wit.
Well, you was half right.
Oh, well, never mind. Let it pass. Say, didn't your uncle give you something for your dairy ranch?
Oh, yes. He made me a present of a pig.
Oh, just like him.
Did you see it? Say, Donnie, you know, I wrote a great story about milk, and the local paper bought it.
Oh, gee, that was swell. How did it look when it appeared in print?
Condensed.
I get it. It had to take a cut.
How we do it?
All right, keep going.
Well, you know, all our milk did. You know, Donnie, I made a terrible mistake yesterday, but I fixed it up all right.
Oh, what was that terrible mistake anyway?
Well, you know, I was staying over to my sister's house, and I went out to mail a letter, and blamed if I didn't pull the fire alarm box instead of putting the letter in the mailbox.
Hey, don't you know that you can be thrown in jail for sending in a false alarm?
I know it. So I set my sister's house on fire.
Well, that was a good idea. By the way, how is your canary bird? How old is he now?
How old is my canary?
Mm-hmm.
He's so old that he can remember when there was something to sing about.
Why is it every time I come over to your house, Aunt Addie, he's always perched on that coconut? Doesn't he ever get off of that thing?
No, he never gets off of that coconut.
Well, why not?
Well, he's afraid if he gets off it, he'll be off his nut.
What a gal, what a gal. And with such inspiration as that, Leah Ray comes right on now, singing, to the grand accompaniment of Phil Harris Orchestra, I Wish I Had Wings.
wonderful wings. There'd be no trouble or woe if I had wings. The little bird sings just because he's got wings. Why, he can fly way up in that sky 'cause he's got wings. But here am I with my worries and my cares, and all of my dreams get me nowhere. I wish I had wings, wonderful wings. Glory be, I could be free if I had wings.
And now Tennessee Jed, from December 27, 1945, Stolen Government Weapon.
There he goes, Tennessee. Get him. Got him. Dead center. That's Jed Sloan, Tennessee Jed. Deadliest man with a rifle ever to ride the Western Plains. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, by the bakers of enriched Tip-Top bread. Tennessee discovers a plot to overthrow the United States government by reviving the war between the states, and heads for Sonora to warn the sheriff of the impending national peril. But on the way, he comes across two suspicious-looking characters driving a heavily loaded wagon. And when Squint and Pharaoh, the two shifty-eyed characters, give evasive answers to his questions, Tennessee rips aside the tarpaulin covering the wagon's cargo and sees a great store of guns and ammunition stolen from the government, obviously for the purpose of renewing the war between the states. Stunned by the discovery, Tennessee is caught off guard momentarily.
Get him, Pharaoh! Nice work, Pharaoh. That Tennessee just turned at the right time for your gun butt to connect just right with his skull.
Yes, Squint. This here hombre knows too much. Maybe so it'd be a good idea if he never comes to.
Yeah, there's plenty of Jaspers like to be in our shoes right now, Pharaoh.
Yes, Squint. Because the easiest way to kill a man like Tennessee is when he's asleep. Or like he is now. unconscious.
Oh, use your head, Pharaoh. Tennessee owned up he knowed about Nick Dalton's plan for starting war between the states all over again, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, Squint. I get you now. We can't afford to have nobody knowing Nick Dalton's plans for taking over the United States government.
Right you are, Pharaoh. So he loads his here unconscious Tennessee in the wagon and takes him to Nick Dalton at the hideout. Once Dalton turns the rat loose on Tennessee, he'll talk plenty fast.
He sure will, Squint. I'd hate to have the rat working my carcass over.
I had best ride up to that Tennessee and then load him in the wagon. Nick Dalton's going to be mighty glad to see this here hombre.
Yeah, mighty glad to see him. And after he's done his talking, mighty glad to kill him.
So Tennessee's life is to be spared only so he can be forced to admit to this Nick Dalton, who else besides himself knows of the plot to take over the United States government. We'll learn the location of Dalton's hideout in just 1 minute. You like to make the honor roll and star at sports in the gym. We all do. And we should all remember that to star at anything, we must keep strong with the right food. That's one big reason more girls and fellas than ever are teaming up with Tip Top. Fact is, Tip Top bread gives you vitamins and minerals to help keep you full of pep. Plus, more energy by the ounce than most meats. And so many Tennessee Jet followers look for Tip Top on their bread tray because it's a heap more fun to eat. A special way of baking that's like the way our grandmothers made bread gives each creamy, tender mouthful all the rich, sweet flavor of the wheat. At your food store, pick up the red star end wrapper for today's better bread. That's enriched Tip Top. Oh, do-day, oh, As the heavily laden wagon creaks toward the outlaw hideout, Tennessee's captors continue discussing his date with death.
Squint, reckon how many others besides Tennessee knows of Nick Dalton's plan for starting a war between the states again and taking over the United States government?
What difference does it make how many Tennessee's told? You know what happens to them and gets wind of or interferes with Dalton's plan to run this here country. Hey, Buck!
Supposing Tennessee won't talk.
Don't you worry your head about that, Pharaoh. You seen the rat working over a carcass? You think any man's fool enough to keep his mouth shut with the rat working on him?
No, Squint. The way that filthy little varmint works, nobody could keep him hollering.
Not even Tennessee. As soon as he names all them who he's told about Dalton's plan for taking over the United States, he gets a halo gratis.
I think our hog-tied passenger's coming, too.
Hands must be asleep. There's no feeling in them. They's tired. Who done?
Over! We did, Tennessee. And your feet, too.
Squint. Pharaoh. Now I remember. You conked me over the head with a coat handle.
Yeah, that's right, Tennessee. You see, hombre, you knows just a mite too much about Nick Dalton's plan for